Guys, welcome back to Lab Cyber. Now, it was only a few weeks ago when Anthropic refused to release their latest AI model called Mythos because, according to them, they said that Mythos was so powerful that it was capable of discovering zero-day vulnerabilities in every major web browser and operating system. And because it was so dangerous, they decided that, you know what, we're going to keep it in-house. We're not going to release it to the public. Now, when I made the video talking about Cloud Mythos and I posted it here on YouTube and also on LinkedIn, I got some pushback. There were a lot of people who did not believe Anthropic. They said, oh, Anthropic are simply overhyping the abilities of Cloud Mythos. Cloud Mythos isn't that powerful. And I said, okay, fair enough. You have every right to be skeptical. However, I also said that, look, it's only going to be a matter of time before we start having AI models that are truly capable of doing the things that Anthropic claim Cloud Mythos could. And it appears that, according to this report from the GTIG, that day may finally have arrived because, according to them, they have, for the very first time in history, recorded history that is, they have discovered a threat actor group, a cybercriminal gang or whatever, who have used AI to discover a zero-day vulnerability. Now, to give you some context, okay, the GTIG, they are the Google Threat Intelligence Group. What they do is that they will monitor the web, the internet for all the latest tactics and techniques being used by cyber criminals. They will compile the report and then release it. Now, this report here is the AI Threat Tracker. It was released just yesterday, and they've made some major discoveries on how hackers are now using AI to launch their cyber attacks. Now, it is a very, very extensive report. They summarized it though into 6 major categories, and I could spend a whole hour talking about the entire report, but what I want to do specifically in this video is to focus on what I believe is the biggest discovery, and it's right down here. They say that cybercrime threat actors discover and weaponize zero-day using AI. Now, they say our analysis of exploits associated with this campaign identified a zero-day vulnerability implemented in a Python script that enables the user to bypass two-factor authentication on a popular open-source web-based system admin tool. GTIG worked with the impacted vendor to responsibly disclose this vulnerability and disrupt this threat activity. Now, this is where things get very interesting. They say that although we do not believe Gemini was used, based on the structure and content of these exploits, we have high confidence that the actor likely leveraged an AI model to support the discovery and weaponization of this vulnerability. They also provide the evidence. For example, the script contains an abundance of educational docstrings, including a hallucinated CVSS score. And we know AI models, they hallucinate. And then it also used a structured textbook Pythonic format, highly characteristic of LLM's training data. The very scary thing here is this, okay? Even though they say that, yeah, we do not believe Gemini was used, I think it's fair to also assume that Cloud Mythos wasn't also used because, according to Anthropic, it's under lock and key, right? So if that's the case, that means that these hackers, these threat actors, used an AI model that's already publicly available. It could have been ChatGPT. Most likely, if I was to place a bet, it's going to be Claude. It's always Claude, right? Some version of Claude was used to discover this zero-day vulnerability. Guys, this is historic because usually in the past, before this report, whenever AI was used by cybercriminals for vulnerabilities, it was always to discover vulnerabilities that were already known. This right here is historic because for the very first time, we now have hackers using AI for discovering zero-day vulnerabilities. So the whole point of Anthropic refusing to release Cloud Mythos because they felt, oh, cybercriminals would use Mythos to discover zero-day vulnerabilities. All these efforts right now seems to be futile because, again, according to this report, and look, the GTIG, by the way, they are as legit as they get. They are one of the most highly respected threat intelligence groups in the cybersecurity world. So when they release reports like this, we need to pay very, very close attention. So this is really, really scary, okay? The AI model that you are using, that I am using, may already have the capabilities of discovering zero-day vulnerabilities in software. This is absolutely insane. Now, I don't want this video to be all about doom and gloom, oh, we're in trouble, because there is actually some good news. Further down in the exact same report under the Building AI Safely and Responsibly section, they go on to say that Google also continuously invests in AI research, helping to ensure AI is built responsibly, and they were leveraging its potential to automatically find risks. Last year, we introduced Big Sleep, an AI agent developed by Google DeepMind and Google Project Zero that actively searches and finds unknown security vulnerabilities in software. Big Sleep has since found its first real-world security vulnerability and assisted in finding a vulnerability that was imminently going to be used by threat actors, which GTIG was able to cut off beforehand. And then they also say we're also experimenting with AI to not only find vulnerabilities, but also patch them. And then they close by talking about Code Mender as well. So it's not all bad news. We also have the good guys developing AI to assist in finding these zero-day vulnerabilities and also patching them. So the AI arms race has officially begun at this point. Traditionally, historically, the attackers have always been proactive. The defenders have always been reactive. So the attackers would use AI to create some new kind of attack, and then the defenders will have to go back to the drawing board and create some sort of technology to combat this new method being used by the attackers. So maybe, just maybe, for the very first time, maybe the good guys might be able to develop some sort of AI that they can use to be one step ahead of the bad guys, because the bad guys are always very adaptive. It really doesn't matter what kind of defense the good guys come up with. The bad guys will always figure out new ways to bypass these new defenses and keep, launching their attacks. So the AI arms race has officially begun, because again, this is historic with with cyber criminals using AI to discover zero-day vulnerabilities. Now, I might make a follow-up video to this one talking about the other things that were mentioned in this report, because it is very, very, very damning. They talk about supply chain attacks. They talk about how hackers are now using AI to conduct reconnaissance on not just their main targets, but also the third-party contractors and companies that have some sort of association with their main targets because of, supply chain attacks, and of course, autonomous malware operations, things like that. So I might make a follow-up video that covers the other things that were mentioned in this particular report. But what I will also do is I will post the link to this particular report down in the description box in case you're interested in reading more about this. So that's it for today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think about this new report about hackers now using AI to discover zero-day vulnerabilities? Are we in trouble? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up, share the video with anyone you may feel might benefit from it. And of course, if you're new here to the channel, welcome to Lab Cyber. My name is Alex. I cover stories around the world of AI and cybersecurity. So if you do enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.